House Democrats yesterday advanced an Obamacare subsidy expansion, and they did so with the aid, I might add, of 17 Republicans. They did that despite objections from GOP leadership. Republicans are warning that this measure locks in unlimited pandemic-era spending, as well as increases significantly the deficit. The bill passed, though, 230 to 196. So what is it going to face when it reaches the Senate? Well, joining me now is Washington Stand reporter Casey Harper, who's been tracking today's stories as well as this one. Casey, where does this leave all the negotiations? What are Republicans saying as this deadline is rapidly approaching right now?
Yeah, thanks, Jody. You're exactly right that we had this bump in COVID-era spending that you would think would be COVID-era, but now could potentially become the new normal. Republicans argue that continuing those subsidies benefits higher-income Americans. Now, the Congressional Budget Office estimates that the plan would cost more than $80 billion over 10 years. Here's what Representative Chris Smith had to say about it.
The Hyde Amendment was not, I say again, not included when the ACA was enacted in 2010, nor was it included when President Biden significantly expanded subsidies during COVID. It has gotten so bad, Mr. Speaker, that according to a 2025 article by the Kaiser Foundation, 12 states, including my own state of New Jersey, absolutely require all plans on the ACA marketplace to cover abortion on demand. We permit abortion till birth in my state, as do many others. That's all covered by Obamacare.
Well, GOP lawmakers, including Chris Smith, who you just heard passionately, say that the subsidies can be used for plans that include abortion and transgender medical procedures. On the other hand, Senate Republicans, they want something and are pushing for something that's a shorter extension with income caps and stricter coverage limits, Jody.
We will certainly be watching this as it goes to the Senate and see what happens over there. Transitioning a little bit, Casey, there's protests, as we all are watching, taking place in Minneapolis, all this after an ICE agent shot a woman. And there's similar unrest in Portland and other places after a Border Patrol intervened. What's the latest that we're seeing, Casey, right now as this wave of protests are spreading across the country?
Yeah, that's right, Jody. We have seen protests across the country, Minneapolis, Portland, other cities, including just down the street from here at the White House. And this is all intensified. These protests have been going on, but it's intensified after the ICE shooting, with hundreds and hundreds demonstrating, particularly near federal buildings. Now in Portland, as you mentioned, a Border Patrol agent shot two people in an incident officials say involved a potential vehicle attack. So another vehicle attack here, and we know there's been a surge in vehicle attacks against ICE officers as well. The Trump administration, for their part, they emphasize that these operations and these agents being in these cities are enforcing immigration laws and protecting communities after a wave of illegal immigration under the Biden administration. Now, the protest in Minneapolis all started with this, big fraud investigation, which has now led to a surge in ICE. But there's more and more focus because of this on fraud, including an investigation into COVID-era tax fraud, which in this clip here, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent commented on earlier today.
First, we have followed the money and identified the money service businesses that may have transferred taxpayer funds overseas. Our team at FinCEN has just provided formal notification to these businesses that they are under investigation.
Now, the Trump administration also announced a DOJ-led National Fraud Division to investigate and prosecute fraud affecting federal programs, which, Jody, you know from your time in Congress and in oversight, is much more common than people may realize.
Yeah, it really is. And, it's encouraging to see that some attention is being highlighted with all this. The light is coming on. Casey, if I can switch gears, of course, we have protests, as you just referenced, taking place in America. But on the international front, Iran also is witnessing massive anti-government protests there. And authorities there have even shut down the internet. And it looks like demonstrators are challenging the Islamic Shia regime. Can you give us a little more information as to what's unfolding there?
Sure, Jody. It's pretty amazing what's happening in Iran right now. As you mentioned, internet shut off, a lot of phone services shut off, flights not coming into the country anymore as protests have erupted across major cities with demonstrators confronting security forces and defying the regime. So what do we know? We know at least 62 people, including security personnel and protesters, and sadly, believe reports say some children have been killed in the unrest. But this unrest, it highlights this growing anger at Iran's oppressive regime, the poor economy, and its continued hostility towards Israel and the West, Jody.
Well, Casey, so much happening both here and around the world. As always, thank you so much for keeping us abreast as what's taking place. We appreciate it.